August starts with some intensity for sure with this planetary lineup we have going on with Mars, Uranus, and the Rahu, the north node of the moon. And that's going to reverberate, not just for the 31st and the 1st, but it's going to reverberate through the whole month. So you're going to really want to take care. So if you're feeling off kilter, if you're feeling agitated, if you're noticing you're taking on other people's energy or volatility in the world, it's time to bring it back home, practice really big self-care. And as the month progresses, we have some big changes going on, and we're going to step into our power and our leadership and be able to connect in with relationships and family and home. And communication is going to fire up, and we'll also be able to organize our details around our next mission, our project, whatever it is that we really want to be moving out in the world. Hi, I'm Prema Gurreri, Vedic Astrologer, Business Oracle, and welcome to Chart Your Path. I am so glad that you're here. I really appreciate you subscribing if you haven't already and hitting the bell notification so you don't miss any of my videos. And if you haven't taken the Sacred Wealth Code Oracle quiz or any of my free classes, they are below to serve you. And all my links for my readings and such are there as well. August 2022 starts out with a lot of intensity with the whole Mars, Uranus, Rahu conjunction in Aries in Vedic astrology. And so this energy is not just for the days of July 30th, 31st, July 1st, but really until Mars transitions out of Aries on the 10th of August. So in the new moon update for August, I talked a lot about this transit. This intensity, I just want you to remember, it can be hitting you, whatever house it's hitting you in, it is bringing that unexpected energy. It's acute, it brings things in fast. You could feel impatient or urgency about something. You might feel just agitated. You might feel like, you've got to get something done. Just be careful of the urgency and really quick decisions. That's the main thing to be careful of here. Also, that we're having heat waves. I live in Seattle, and we are having a whole week of heat wave here, but it's been happening everywhere. I mean, Europe is melting. So that the heat, the weather is part of this. Also, there's volatility, so watch out for crowded places. Travel, it can just bring on more stress. It doesn't mean something big bad is going to happen to you or in your world, but it can bring complications and bring more stress. Just even, traveling and having complications can bring on more stress. So keep this time, this first part of August, simple as you can. Everything is very amplified. One of the remedies here is to use your creativity, to really dive in and use your productivity, use your creativity for something, and not let the urgency or volatility consume you. Maybe you have so much coming at you and so much going on. Maybe work is really busy for you, or family is very busy for you, and that's consuming. Make sure you take the time to come back to center. Stay very grounded. Really plant your energy into the moment. You can do that by exercise, by meditation, by yoga, getting in bodies of water. I spent a couple weekends ago, last week, I spent 2 days just in a high mountain lake, and I couldn't, just the level of grounding that was just amazing. It's a time to really pray for peace. And because of the volatility. And this is the honorable warrior at work and the magician at work, along with Uranus, which brings things on very unexpectedly. So we keep things simple during that time. So this is a good time for, again, keeping things simple, a little extra exercise, nothing dangerous. It's not time to climb some rock climbing you've never done, or climb to the top of a mountain, or do something, anything daring. Not time for that. But definitely a time to burn off that extra energy so you can make really clear, conscious decisions, to be very disciplined. So get yourself into something productive. Do a project, do something creative, or even just clean out a closet. Do something to use that energy and channel it into productivity. If you've got that volatility coming up in you, if you even turning into rage, that can be the energy of the goddess Kali when it's connected to the heart. One of the ways to connect it to the heart is channel it into creativity. Make a song, make poetry out of it, go out and create something, dig in the earth and plant in your garden. Channel the energy. Don't let it consume you. Okay? So we'll be talking more about this because Mars is in the limelight here for a while, because on August 10th, Mars is going to move into Taurus, and Mars is going to be there until October 15th. It's going to take 1 month to be in Gemini, and from November 13th all the way to March of 2023, Mars is going to be in Taurus because of the retrograde cycle. So we're going to talk some more, and we will be talking about Mars in Taurus, and that'll be the energy that starts as of August 10th and beyond. But I want to say one more thing about this really rare transit that we're having. It hasn't happened for many, many years, and it will not happen again for quite a while, is that it's not just, again, the moment of or even the week of, but it sets off events. It's a trigger. It's an activation, and it sets off events in the world that will play out over time. And it also sets out, it's a trigger for you and wherever that's hitting you in your chart and your soul blueprint that will play out over time. It's a trigger for change. It's a trigger, and it's unexpected, and it's a trigger for transformation. And I really want to encourage you to do your work during this time and beyond. What is transforming in you? What needs to transform? What needs to sort of blow up in your life and have be reconstructed again? If we don't make those transformations, then what happens is events happen in our life that cause us to face making those transformations. So really be tuned in to, what is it that's ready to shift? That's just an old paradigm that needs to be reconstructed, because as Mars moves into Taurus, where it is a place of stability, it's an arta placement, even though in your soul blueprint it may rule a different element of house, but it's an earth, and all earth on one level is arta placement. It's fixed. Taurus is a fixed sign. It wants to create things that are stable, stability that last for a long time. And overall, this energy of wanting to create harmony, like that finely tuned, instrument, guitar, that doesn't have any dissonance in it. And to be able to hold that for a long period of time, which can bring in a quality of being stuck, but it also brings in deep stability and having our values in check. This is really Mars in the element of the engineer. So Mars's archetypes: the strategist, the engineer, and the honorable warrior. Of course, in Aries, it's very much the honorable warrior, but in Taurus, very much the engineer. We're able to channel that productive, do-it energy into, let's create something, but let's create something that lasts a while, that really can serve and endure. Like when we build a bridge, we hope it's going to last a long time. That takes it takes engineering to be able to do that. You have areas in your life, and you have things to engineer in your life, in your business, in the way you're doing things, building a new pathway. But again, the energy here is to build something for the long run, and we have to be careful that it doesn't just serve our comfort. Yes, we want to be comfortable, and that's kind of the shadow side here in Taurus. Yes, we want to be comfortable, but not too comfortable that we're not really moving forward with our purpose and willing to shift or change anything we need to. This is also can be very productive in your business around your wealth, because Taurus is very much about arta, about wealth, and creating structure. So maybe it's time for you to create a new structure in your business, in your project, in your career, whatever it is that you're doing. So building things that last. Very, very important energy here. Mercury moved into Leo on the 30th of July, and it was gone down to the 30th and the 31st. Again, I talked about this in the new moon update. And so Mercury coming into Leo, which is the great communicator, but also this is a great placement of the Merchant and for your business as well, and really leadership with our communication, but leadership through business as well. So, for that couple of days, yeah, it can be a little confusing in communication, but now that we are moving past that time, we are able to really access more of that clear, strong communication. This is where you can really just, you're going to want to just trust your gut, on your communication. And you can have the edge a little bit of maybe being a little too quick in communication. So make sure you take a breath, make sure you're practicing being a good leader. And, but you are going to probably just like some things you've wanted to say, you won't be able to help but to say those things and feel empowered in your communication. I just encourage you to, since you're going to be leading with your words, because Leo is the sign of leadership, then just make sure that you're taking the time to listen and to also not be in reaction with your communication by making sure you're listening, taking a breath, and responding, or being very clear. I think your clarity is going to come very easily to you as far as what it is that you want to express. And so if you're someone who isn't comfortable being really out there or being loud or really just putting your ideas across really strongly, then you may be in the position where you're a little bit uncomfortable because you're like, it's just coming out of me, and you're feeling maybe a little bolder than you'd like to. That's just the Leo energy. It's a little fiery. That's okay. That's going to stretch you. Let your authenticity come through with your communication. On August 6th, Venus moves into Cancer, and it'll be there till the 31st, right till the very end of the month. Now, this is the energy of the connector so much in Cancer. And of course, Venus is also the energy of the artist and the muse, but really it's the connector in Cancer. That's where we also have the new moon in Cancer for July. And we're in that moon cycle for the next 30 days until the next new moon, of the devotion, of the heart energy, of the Cancer energy. But it's home and family and feeling really good and connected with your home and your family. And what are you devoted to? That's the energy here in Cancer. Although we can get caught in the emotional qualities of Cancer, that might be what's not working for us in relationships and in home and family. So notice if you've got those reverberations going on, that's the clue just to tell you are hooked by some patterns. It's time to release some of that old family trauma and drama so that you can really be in that deep connection that your heart so desires. Saturn's aspecting it, and because Saturn is in Capricorn right now, holding down the fort in Capricorn until the end of the year, we're revisiting that energy and whatever Capricorn is for you. Now with the retrograde going on there, you're getting opportunity to restructure, relook at those things in Saturn. But it brings on this element of seriousness to Cancer and any planet moving through Cancer. And so that energy is very much really trying to drive us to the truth. Like really, what's the truth in the conversation, in the connection, or where maybe the connection isn't what you thought it was. So instead of getting bogged down in any of this, what feels like seriousness, you just want to get to the truth. Once you're in the truth of what's going on in a relationship or within your family or your home or these things, what you're devoted to, once you can get truthful about that, even sometimes if it's a hard truth, it just clears the air, and then you can move forward on your purposeful path so much easier. The full moon will be on August 12th. Of course, I'll do an update for that, so I won't go into that too deep, but it will be in Capricorn. It will be in Dinesta. It is will be very close to the planet Saturn. So I just want to say on that full moon, one of the things that'll be up around that is when the moon is that close to Saturn, we can feel sensitive and a little self-critical. Your inner critic may be really up during that time. But there's some really great benefits too, also having that full moon there in Dinesta, and what that stands for as far as wealth and as far as rhythm and marking time. And I'll get into that in the update around that. So stay tuned for that. August 16th, the sun will move into Leo. Now, it'll be Gandanta on the 16th, 17th. That's where it's transitioning from water to fire. And that's because the nakshatras end at the end of the Rashi, the sign, instead of overlapping. This is that place where karmic knots, Gandanta, have the opportunity to be untied. You may not be aware of what's going on. But what's important to know about that is it's not like we jump from the sun in Cancer and what it represents to, okay, feeling really strong in our leadership and it's the sign of kings. And instead, we have a couple of days there where it's a little out to lunch, like I like to say. It's Sunday, it's in between. And so it's a great time for spiritual practice. It's a great time for really tuning in and knowing that something's has the opportunity to unravel behind the scenes, so to speak. Gandanta also means drowning. That's the place where you feel, maybe you're just not really clear, but it only lasts a day or so. So just take a breath. It'll move on. And then with that sun moving into Leo again, and it's really the archetype here is really the king, because this is, the sun owns Leo, very much our sense of leadership, leading from the heart and really powerfully leading your mission. So it's an opportunity once a year to really come in and dig into what is your mission? What are you here to lead? This is a fixed fire sign. So it's like a fireplace that's radiating. It's radiating. And what is it radiating? Whatever it represents for you. But what is the leadership that you want to radiate? First, we have to have personal leadership. What are we leading ourselves, hopefully within your purpose, and your soul purpose at that, and then what is what's the mission that's being animated into the world? When the sun moves into Virgo, then we'll get to organize the details around that. But first, it's really checking in. Leo's very much of a me sign, so to speak, like Aries is, but we want to check in and make sure our mission, our purpose, how does it actually serve the world, so that those who choose to join us in and follow that leadership, it has to serve something besides just ourselves. So it's a great time to reevaluate that. You'll be very supported, and we'll talk a little bit more as we come into the middle of the month around that. But just know that is coming. And what are you here to lead? That's really the soul question to live with. August 20th, Mercury enters Virgo, and it is going to go retrograde on September 9th. I'll talk about that in the next update, but just mark your calendar that Mercury retrograde's coming up. But Mercury in Virgo is its sign of exaltation. It owns that house. And in fact, on the August 20th, it is the sun, the moon, the Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn are all in their own constellations, are all in dignity. So that's a very, very powerful day to mark your calendar with. That's August 20th. So that's the energy strong for many things on that day. And so as Mercury goes into Virgo, we're going to be attending to the details of things. We are going to, it's a very healing placement. It's a very sensitive placement. It's a place of purity. We want to get to the essence of things, not just the flower, but the flower essence. And we're able to really look at the details of what it is we're creating, what it is we're doing, the next project, the next launch, the business, whether maybe it's something with your health and well-being, and be able to really dig into the details and put them in the rightful order so that we can, on this earthly plane, it's an earthly sign, that we can, and it's a feminine sign, and that we can put things in order and bring them into creation, into manifestation. Mercury is going to be staying in that placement until August 27th, because it will do its retrograde cycle there, and it's a great place to have Mercury. So it's going to be, and so look where that is in your soul blueprint, in your chart, what house that represents, because it's going to be a powerful time, again, Earth, and putting the details together around your mission, your purpose, or your health, your well-being, whatever is up for you. The new moon will be in Leo, in the nakshatra of Magha, which is the nakshatra of kings, absolutely. And it'll be a very fiery new moon that'll start our 30-day cycle from mid August until mid-September. It is the heart of the lion. It is where the fixed star Regulus is. And like I said, this is the place of kings and queens and honoring our ancestors. And I won't do an update for that, but mark your calendar that is the new moon, and it's going to be this energy of leadership. Starts the next 30-day cycle with the new moon in Leo on August 27th. It's another very transformational month, but the energy is shifting. But the intense energy we start the month with, remember, is going to reverberate for a while. So practice your grounding, your spiritual practice, and stay very tuned in with your gifts and make sure you're staying in alignment. Thank you for tuning in today. I really appreciate you being here. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what's up for you. What are you stepping into as far as your leadership goes? How are you feeling with this volatile energy that's going on? And if you haven't already subscribed, please do, and like and share this. I really appreciate it. If you're wanting deeper mentorship with me, all my links to my readings and programs are down below. So much love to you.